Admiral Correll, your wife's here today, and to your family, thank you for your service to our nation and for your willingness to continue that service. So I want to talk a little bit about nuclear testing in Nevada. As everyone knows, the Nevada Test Site, now known as the Nevada National Security Site, NNSS, was ground zero for the majority of the United States explosive nuclear testing from 1951 to 1992. During this era, which we must not return to, millions of people and acres of land were contaminated by radiation. And my state of Nevada is still suffering the consequences. Since President George H.W. Bush signed the testing moratorium in 1992, the Nevada National Security Site has safely conducted non-explosive experiments to certify the reliability, the safety, the effectiveness of our nuclear stockpile. So let me be clear. What we are doing in Nevada is working. For decades, the directors of our national laboratories, the commander of U.S. Strategic Command, the secretaries of Defense and Energy, including through the entire time of the first Trump administration, and again this year, have certified the military effectiveness of our stockpile. Nonetheless, President Trump last night took the reckless, irresponsible, and dangerous step to declare that we will resume explosive nuclear testing, despite no evidence supporting the need to do so. If this resumption happens, the amount of radiation exposure and destruction would be felt across the country and around the world. Make no mistake, this would be devastating and catastrophic. So I'm going to be crystal clear. I will not let this happen, not on my watch. I will do everything I can in my power as a senator, as a United States citizen, to put a stop to this and protect families in my state of Nevada. So, Admiral Correll, can you clarify what you told the committee earlier this morning and clearly tell us, in your expert opinion, are explosive nuclear tests necessary, yes or no?
Senator, I'd be happy to schedule a follow-on briefing in a classified setting to have a discussion about testing. The STRATCOM commander's role, and if confirmed, my role would be to provide the requirements for accuracy.
Do you think then we're not meeting our? You do not feel confident with the tests that our national labs and what we're doing at the test site, that the tests that we've been doing since 1992, when we stopped that above and below ground nuclear testing, have not been adequate enough to ensure the integrity of our nuclear arsenal?
The adequacy and efficacy of the nuclear weapons stockpile is certified on an annual basis.
And do you trust in those tests?
And it was certified satisfactorily, and I do trust that assessment.
And so would you counsel the President on national security implications? And let me tell you that we like to say in Nevada, what happens in Las Vegas stays in Vegas. But if you start those explosive nuclear tests, I can tell you this. Every bit of air, every bit of groundwater, every bit of soil across these United States will be contaminated with radiation, and everyone in this country will suffer, not just the people of Nevada. So how would you counsel the President on this issue of resuming explosive nuclear tests?
Senator, I would provide my best military advice in a private setting and classified setting.
So I know you're not there yet, and you've had a career working in all of this, worked very hard and have so much knowledge. I look forward to really working with you and working to move all of these issues forward. I just want to be sure that you agree with data-informed assessments and that there really isn't a technical or strategic justification for resuming what might be a great photo op of a mushroom cloud over the western United States.
Senator, I have always been driven by data and, to the best of my ability, provide forthright and candid advice. And commit that that will not change going forward. And thank you for the question.
Thank you. I look forward to setting up that meeting in the SCIF to discuss this further. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you, Senator Rosen.
At a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on Thursday, Senator Jacky Rosen, Democrat Nevada, delivered a forceful rebuke of the Trump administration's decision to restart explosive nuclear testing, warning that such a move would not only endanger her home state of Nevada but also threaten the health, safety, and security of people across the nation and around the world. Rosen opened her remarks by thanking the committee's leadership and acknowledging Admiral Richard A. Correll, the nominee to serve as commander of U.S. Strategic Command, along with his family for their service. She then pivoted to a passionate defense of Nevada's legacy and the lessons learned from decades of nuclear experimentation. From 1951 to 1992, she said, the Nevada Test Site, now known as the Nevada National Security Site, NNSS, was the epicenter of America's explosive nuclear testing program. During those 4 decades, hundreds of nuclear detonations released massive amounts of radiation, contaminating the air, soil, and groundwater, leaving long-term consequences that still affect Nevada's people and environment today. She recalled how entire communities suffered from the government's early testing programs, as radioactive fallout spread far beyond test boundaries. Rosen stressed that this painful history should serve as a warning against any return to explosive nuclear tests. During that era, which we must not return to, she said, millions of people and acres of land were contaminated by radiation. My state of Nevada is still suffering the consequences. Since President George H.W. Bush signed the nuclear testing moratorium in 1992, Rosen explained, the United States has relied on advanced non-explosive testing methods at the NNSS to ensure the safety, reliability, and effectiveness of the nation's nuclear arsenal. These experiments, which simulate the physical effects of detonations without the environmental damage, have allowed scientists and defense officials to continuously certify the strength and readiness of America's stockpile. According to Rosen, this system has been successful for over 3 decades, earning the endorsement of every administration, Republican and Democrat alike, since the moratorium began. Rosen cited repeated confirmations from the Department of Defense, the Department of Energy, and U.S. Strategic Command itself that the nuclear stockpile remains fully capable without explosive testing. What we are doing in Nevada is working, she declared. The directors of our national laboratories, the commanders of Strategic Command, and the Secretaries of Defense and Energy have all certified the military effectiveness of our stockpile. However, Rosen condemned former President Trump's recent declaration to resume explosive nuclear testing, calling it a reckless, irresponsible, and dangerous reversal of decades of bipartisan policy. She accused the former president of putting political theater ahead of science and national safety. President Trump last night took the reckless, irresponsible, and dangerous step to declare that we will resume explosive nuclear testing despite no evidence supporting the need to do so, she said. If this resumption happens, the amount of radiation exposure and destruction would be felt across the country and around the world. Her tone sharpened as she vowed to fight any attempt to restart testing. Make no mistake, this would be devastating and catastrophic, Rosen said emphatically. I will not let this happen, not on my watch. I will do everything in my power as a senator and as a citizen to put a stop to this and protect families in my state of Nevada. Turning her attention to Admiral Correll, Rosen pressed him on whether explosive nuclear tests were scientifically or strategically necessary. She demanded a clear answer. Can you clarify what you told the committee earlier this morning and clearly tell us, in your expert opinion, are explosive nuclear tests necessary, yes or no? Admiral Correll responded cautiously, suggesting that a detailed discussion would be more appropriate in a classified setting, but affirmed that the nation's nuclear stockpile is already certified annually for adequacy and reliability. He noted that he trusted the existing process and the database evaluations conducted by the national laboratories. The adequacy and efficacy of the nuclear weapons stockpile is certified on an annual basis, Correll said. It was certified satisfactorily, and I do trust that assessment. Rosen continued to press him, underscoring the environmental and humanitarian consequences of renewed nuclear explosions. In Nevada, we like to say what happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas, she said pointedly. But if you start those explosive nuclear tests, every bit of air, groundwater, and soil across this country will be contaminated with radiation. Everyone in America will suffer, not just the people of Nevada. When asked how he would counsel the president on the matter, Correll said he would offer his best military advice in private and classified discussions. Rosen acknowledged his professionalism and experience, but stressed that decisions of this magnitude must remain grounded in data and science, not politics or nostalgia. "I just want to be sure that you agree with data-informed assessments," she told him, "and that there really isn't a technical or strategic justification for resuming what might be a great photo op of a mushroom cloud over the western United States." Admiral Correll assured her that he has always been driven by data and would continue to provide honest and candid military advice if confirmed. Rosen thanked him for his response, but reaffirmed her opposition to any proposal that would bring back explosive nuclear testing. The senator closed her remarks by reiterating her commitment to protecting Nevada's environment, the health of its citizens, and America's global standing as a responsible nuclear power. She said that the United States must continue to lead by example, investing in science-based verification and stockpile stewardship rather than reviving Cold War-era practices. "We've proven that we can maintain a safe, secure, and effective deterrent without ever lighting up another mushroom cloud," she said. "That's the path we must continue to follow, for Nevada, for our nation, and for the world."